Today we'd actually like to give two presentations today from incidents that occurred within United Aero helicopters. The first one being a short presentation on a hydraulic failure that we had, and I will talk you through this incident. And then the second one is the wire strike that was mentioned before, and Sam is going to present on that. So the hydraulic failure that we had on a AS350B3 Plus helicopter, a Squirrel, on the way to an airborne survey. So it actually occurred on mobilisation, about 200 kilometres northwest of Brisbane. Now, was back in November in clear VFR conditions. The pilot had left Brisbane and was tracking for northern Queensland. And just, I guess, important to note that the helicopter involved is a B3 Plus model, which has a dual hydraulic system. Given it was a mobilisation to site, there was no equipment deployed, or there was no survey equipment operating. There was just the one pilot on board, nil passengers. And the incident in itself luckily resulted in no injuries or damage to the aircraft, with the exception of the hydraulic system that failed. So just a brief summary of the events. About 40 minutes into the flight, the pilot noticed a loud noise, checked the warning lights and didn't see any warning signs illuminated. But then within a few seconds noticed the pedals becoming stiff. Second glance to the caution panel and saw that warning lights had illuminated, indicating a right-hand hydraulic system failure on the aircraft. In accordance with aircraft and company procedures, the pilot reduced forward speed down to 60 knots and then went ahead to carry out a precautionary landing. Checked the aircraft for damage, and it was pretty clear, as you'll see on some pictures that follow, that the hydraulic system number one, the right-hand side one, had failed. Company was notified, chief pilot and ops manager were notified, and subsequently the survey company and the client, and engineer was dispatched to site to repair the aircraft. So before we actually look at some photos of the damaged hydraulic systems, I just thought I'd give you a quick overview. I'm not sure how I can get rid of this box here. Escape. No, that doesn't do it. Okay, well, I apologise, there's this little text box on the side here, but I can't get rid of it. So here's just a photo of a B3 helicopter showing the two hydraulic systems. So this one here being system number one, the left-hand side one, that drives the belt into the drive shaft that goes to the back, to the tail rotor. And then at the front is the secondary hydraulic system that is just driven straight off the transmission and is just constantly running. So this is the one that failed, and then this one kicked in this particular incident. And then this is just another close-up of the hydraulic system number one, again with the pulley assembly, the belt going into the drive shaft and the housing. Now, with the findings, this is where the fun bit starts. I'm going to try and talk you a bit through it. And as I'm sure you all know, I'm not an aircraft engineer, so you've got to bear with me. But luckily, our engineers, they gave me an engineering 101 the other day, so I'll try and talk you through it. So we have here, and that's the exciting bit, we actually have the hydraulic system number 1 out of TMY, which is that particular incident. So I brought that in to show you. We've got the internal shaft going through the pulley, which, going back to this picture,